That's right, gamers. The title is not clickbait. You can now put water towers on land. If you want to know how to do this, stay tuned. I'll be sharing the details within the video. To get things started, I first want to select a hero, and since we are going to be using boats and submarines, I think a perfect hero to pair them with is going to be Brickle. So we'll go ahead and grab Lifeguard Brickle and go ahead and hop into a map. So I want to play a map that has no water on it. And so I'm thinking we play the map Cracked, just because seeing land boats and land subs on this map, I think it'll be kind of funny. The first step is going to be greeting out the Lord of the Abyss and the Chinook helicopter. I think we're going to do the tried and true Desperado strat. Who would have thought we used Desperado, am I right? But it just has good attack speed. And I think 2 of them is a perfect amount to start in Chimps. So we'll get a pair of Desperados over here. I don't want them to do too much damage here, so we're going to put them in the back of the map and hopefully get past the early game. I do want to get down the Lord of the Abyss as soon as possible. But for now, let's go ahead and greet out this quick draw. And now I think we start looking for the Mer Monkey placement. I don't know where I want to place it just yet. I'm thinking kind of maybe up here in this little, like, to be honest, it looks like a finger pointing at the Desperados. We'll put it up in the finger area. So it looks like we can greet out that Mer Monkey now. I'm going to place it right about here. And go ahead and greet out the Echo Sense Precision. Just because the Seeking Projectiles seems to do really well for the early game. And then after that, I think greet out the Top Path. It's also just relatively cheap. And we do need to spawn water for the land boat and land sub strategy to work here. Now, I won't lie. I did see a post on the BTD6 Reddit with someone using the same strategy. And I forget what they commented, but something along the lines of, I didn't know subs or boats work like this, right? And I try like to deduce what happened, if it was like a mod or something like that, but I think it's just an oversight by NK. The Chinook tower can move towers around, but it struggles moving tier 5s. Maybe they cost too much or way too much. And so usually you can't move tier 5 towers, but for some reason you can Chinook the tier 5 top path Mer Monkey. My belief is it's just a new tower. And since it's a new tower, they forgot to like somehow prevent it from being Chinooked. But I have no idea. Maybe it is part of the game and I am just thinking too much into it. But nonetheless, somehow using boats and subs on land just seems like a really fun, cool, and unique strategy. And I do think it's an oversight by Ninja Kiwi. And so before it gets patched or changed, I kind of want to get a Chimps gameplay video out for this. Just because I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. So I'm not too sure that the Abyss Dweller can pop lead balloons. And so just for the early game, I think we're going to go ahead and Alch buff it up a little bit, as well as put the Alchemist on strong. I think once we get the Abyss Dweller, then it can pop leads. But until then, I think it struggles a little bit. So a Buddy Alchemist is always a good idea. Once we get the Abyssal Warrior, then he can pop leads, as well as they get increased attack speed and increased damage. Here's that Abyssal Warrior. Since we are going to grab the Chinook Tower, I'm going to grab the double discount down over here. And then my thought process is that we'll move the Lord of the Abyss over to here. That way we can buy towers in range of double discount and then move them back to elsewhere. Now that I think about it, I'm not too sure this is going to work, but we'll just grab one discount. We'll just grab one discount and then grab the helicopter. Since we do want to go for the Chinook strategy, we'll go ahead and greet the middle path out right here. Downdraft is actually pretty cool. And I feel like a lot of people overlook the tower for some reason. I think in Chimps, it's actually a very meta tower. Not too sure about Chinook and stuff like that. Here's round 40. Let's see how the Abyss Warrior does with it. Looks relatively easy. Nice. Hindsight, I probably should not have grabbed the discount Alchemist or Desperados and maybe try to start with the Mer Monkey. But I don't know, but we keep trying different strategies. And I am actually learning a lot about different towers. And so if you have any suggestions for a tower to be used in the next video, please let me know. So the Abyssal Warrior can't actually pop lead. That's a little concerning. Good thing we have the Alchemist down. So maybe the Alchemist was necessary. I also wanted to play the map Cracked because there's no water on this map. And it kind of just reminds me of a desert. No water, no nothing. And then putting boats on land just for some reason sounds really funny on this map. So we did get the support Chinook. We can actually move towers around now, which is kind of cool. But I think we're going to grab out this Berserker Brew and the stronger acid perishing potions just to buff this guy up a little bit. And I think we should have enough DPS to greet out the Lord of the Abyss now. Here's round 60. We are about 1,000 or 2 away from affording the tier 5. and then we can finally get the strategy started. If I didn't buy the discount village, I think we could have bought it now. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Hopefully we can use the discount village later in the game, and I can make it worth its while. But for now, let's go ahead and grab Lord of the Abyss. And we're actually going to start with, I think, grabbing our hero Brickle down. You actually have to place it in the range of Lord of the Abyss, and then you can Chinook it away. But if you put it in water and then Chinook it away, it would actually just, I think, sell the tower. And so the strategy would be that we move the tier 5. And I don't think this is a typical thing that you can do with a lot of tier 5s in the game. There might be 1 or 2 that you can Chinook around, which is why I think it's an oversight. So we can actually move the Lord of the Abyss down over to the discount village. And Brickle just sits there on the land now. So now we have a land Brickle. Now, we did lose a lot of DPS, so this might have been a bad idea. Hopefully, Lord of the Abyss can still solo. But now we can grab a boat right here under the range of discount. And what we're going to do here is grab the, I think, Destroyer. Destroyer is just a really good tower in general. I wonder if the Brickle ability, it does. It buffs the boat right here. I don't know if it's in range. I should probably tested this before I tried it out. And we'll try Chinooking the tower a little bit. We'll Chinook it a little bit closer to Brickle. Maybe after this round, that way we don't lose the power of it. So let's go ahead and Chinook the Lord of the Abyss now. It is kind of weird. If you put it in its own range, it acts like it's in its own water, getting more range. Once it actually Chinooks, it doesn't get the range anymore. So that's just really weird. Looks like we can right about here. So let's go ahead and grab that. This time, let's go ahead and greed the top path. I guess we'll grab Great Shot first, then greed Destroyer out. I don't know which kind of boats we want to go for. I'm thinking just Carrier Flagship and the Pirate Lord. I think they're just 2 of the best boats in the game. Let's go ahead and go for a Brickle ability here. It does not buff the other boat it did before. But let's go ahead and grab this Destroyer out. And I guess the Hot Shot as well. And think about getting the next boat. So we can actually move the boats over. So let's go ahead and move this boat over to here. It should still be on water. And then we can Chinook the Lord of the Abyss away again. But I am trying to discount majority of these tier 3 buys. And in fact, we should probably go for the double discount. Let's go for double discount. Now we wait for the Chinook ability once again. And we're going to move the Destroyer after it's been discounted a little bit closer to Brickle. And then I think we have to... No, we just... yeah, okay. So we just place it right about here, and we can double discount a boat again. So now we bought the Destroyer once again. Let's go ahead and Chinook it back up to the top a little bit more. I would love it to be in range of Brickle. Let's try the ability here. And yes, sir, yes, sir. It looks like all of the boats have the Brickle buff. Which, again, if you guys don't know, the Brickle buff just basically doubles the damage. I think it's attack speed, not damage, which realistically doubles the DPS of all boats in range of Brickle. So it's a very good tower. And I would say the strategy for most water maps. All right, let's go ahead and grab another Destroyer. I wonder how many Destroyers we can actually get here. Eventually, I want to move out Lord of the Abyss. Because I want the land boats. Ironically, I think on water, they're a little bit better. But for the memes, we're going to go ahead and make sure they're land boats. Let's go ahead and Chinook this guy away. I don't know where we can place them. In fact, it looks like we are maxed out of real estate within Lord of the Abyss right now. So I think instead of moving the Destroyer, we're going to move Lord of the Abyss, I think, up until here. Which, again, makes Brickle a land tower. So let's go ahead and use the Brickle buff. So the Brickle buff actually doesn't apply to the land boats. So this is kind of a dumb strategy. But, like I said, it's cool. Trust me. Trust me. I guess we have to Chinook our Lord of the Abyss over to make sure they're on water. And then we can use the Brickle buff. So we got to pray we don't need the Brickle buff. Okay. Well, we actually died to round 78, so that's not very good. We're going to go ahead and retry last round. I think with the well-positioned Chinook, this round should be kind of easy. We'll go ahead and go a cross path on this helicopter. And I think our strategy here needs to be that we, one, move the Lord of the Abyss back over to the map. And 2, use the Chinook to knock back the balloons back into range of our DPS. Let's go ahead and grab, I think, a different tower this time. We're gonna grab the middle path submarine. First strike capability this time. We've been using too many boats. I think it's just... Oh, hang on. Do we have this? Lord of the Abyss is the GOAT. In fact, I think my support Chinook and Mer Monkey Lord of the Abyss are soloing right now. But it is cool seeing all the destroyers activate, so I'm not too mad. Actually, I want to try this. Let's go ahead and put down a Moab mine. We can put it in range of Lord of the Abyss. But my worry now is what happens if we move Lord of the Abyss away? What happens to the Moab mine? Ooh, it's a land Moab mine. That's pretty cool. I wonder if it's going to activate. And I think we'll move the submarine back over to here. We don't need it in range of discount anymore. So I think what we're going to do is actually move the Mer Monkey back over to Brickle. So that way we can, I think, Brickle buff everything. And we'll Brickle buff for the end of round 89. As well as place a late Moab mine for the beginning of round 90. Nice. I am going to try to greed out the monkey pirates. So my goal for the end game is, I guess, to make all of the boats and subs on land. Basically remove the Lord of the Abyss to the back of the map. And hopefully beat the bad with a bunch of land boats. But again, that's just my hope. We'll actually find out what happens here shortly. It seems like we have some pretty good projectile count going on right here. I think we are lacking a little bit of DPS. Let's go for a first strike. Remove one of the ZOMGs. I think also go for a Brickle buff, because I'm a little bit scared. And we can afford the Pirate Lord. I think it's perfectly before round 93. So I think we can actually just one-shot all of the DDTs. Beautiful. Besides the death at round 78 camo balloons, I think we're doing pretty well so far. In fact, we're going to go ahead and drop a Moab mine for this round, I think. I think once the DDT starts spawning. So now. Okay, that was pretty cool. And then now we go for a Brickle ability. And Moab Sucker. And we are unfortunately still dead. Will W. Okay, well. 95 destroyed us. Okay, new game plan. Get Glue Monkey. In fact, it was a perfect amount to get in the first place, so I probably just messed that up entirely. Let's try it again. Let's try it again. Pirate Lord, what are you doing? Wake up! We did Brickle buff Pirate Lord, though. So let's go ahead and grab the ability here. Moab mine now. Move over. Then go for the Pirate Lord ability. Come on, come on. Oh, the glue just wasn't enough, though. Oh, maybe. Hang on. Some well-timed first strike. I messed it up. I think it might be possible, boys. Woo! Bully the balloons back over. Nice! Okay, okay. Not gonna lie, that might have been the hardest round I've ever done in my entire life. But we did it. We did it. The Glue Monkey, chat. Let's go ahead and grab this, another first strike. In my opinion. Use one first strike as well. I guess use the ability here. We need to save our abilities for round 99. I feel like that's going to be a menace round. So we'll see how good our towers are here. In fact, it will be a good testament of our power. Alright, looks to be good. Round 97 is actually kind of easy. A lot more scared for this round. I'm actually just thinking a really early Brickle buff. And see what happens. Go ahead and try to greed the first strike. Maybe use it almost instantly and greed it back for round 100. Now we gotta do a little bit of praying here. We got a pretty good stall strat with Chinook. Okay, wow. Wow, we did it, we did it, we did it. Okay. I'm gonna go for the Relentless Glue. I think we're fine. I think it's enough boats to beat the round 100. And so the goal here is now to move out the Lord of the Abyss in the back of the map and let the land boats and subs solo round 100. But I think we need it for round 99. Actually, we don't. I'm gonna move it away now. And then we're gonna hopefully one-shot all of these guys. It did not work. Brickle buff, help me. Crap. Okay, I lied. I think I did something preemptively that I shouldn't have done. And what I think the answer now is, right? Watch this. Moab mine. From the get-go. Hear me out. From the get-go. Start. We're gonna brickle. No, sorry. We're gonna wait for those to get destroyed. Go for Pirate Lord. Nice. Chinook away. Beautiful. And now we just pray that we have enough DPS off the subs. We'll go and grab maybe like a strong stim. I doubt it's gonna do anything. We'll go for jungle drums. And I guess a little bit of an alchemist. Basically, it's Flooded Valley if the water on Flooded Valley dried up and it became a desert map. I don't know how we're supposed to do this, actually. I think we just go for the first strike and then wait for the second one is the key here. And hopefully we have enough damage. So we'll use the first strike. I'm going to try to brickle buff. I doubt it does anything. We'll go for the other ability as well. I think we have to wait for like the third damage state. Just in case we're going to drop a Moab mine back here. I don't know what damage state's at. I'm going to try it now. I'm getting scared. 3, 2, 9, 4, uno, fire. Let's go. And very fitting, actually. We got a monkey sub, a land sub with no water for our insta-monkey. But technically, we beat Chimps using land boats, subs, pirate lords, and land brickles. But yeah, GG's. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I didn't know what to record for today's video. Whether you liked it or whether you didn't, I guess subscribe. I also want to thank you guys for 10,000 subscribers. Thank you for watching the channel. And to end the video, let's go ahead and open up the chest. Banana farm.